Welcome, everybody. My name's Peter. I've taught these classes for at least 10 years in Seattle area, and they're all online now. So I'm glad to have you, and glad to be working here a little bit with you. I recommend you have a sturdy seat under you. I recommend that you might have space around you to be able to move with both legs and arms. You may or may not need a mat. You may or may not need other props besides the chair. The chair is the primary prop that I'm always using. And as I start talking, maybe we can start moving as well. So can we rock from sitting bone to sitting bone, left to right? And you don't have to go my pace necessarily, but do try and think of your pelvis as rocking. One way of thinking of it is like if you were in a kayak. I don't know if everyone's done kayaking or not, but if you're in a kayak, you really got to work the waist muscles quite a bit to shift the weight and to move the kayak around, or at least to keep yourself stable. So in fact, let's start kayaking a little with our arms. As we lean one way, we'll reach forward with an arm. As we lean the other way, reach forward with the other arm. And I'm not being particular about which one is which. It may not be really true to how kayaking works, but it doesn't matter. We're just moving in a chair here. Yeah, so as you lean one way, punch arm forward. As you lean the other way, punch the other arm forward. And for me, I happen to be leaning left, reaching out with my left arm, leaning right, reaching out with my right arm. Yeah. And now we're going to reverse the kayak. So we're actually going to paddle backwards, which means I didn't even describe that I was circling my hands as well. So now I'm circling them the opposite way, even as I'm rocking. Yeah. And I see, okay, Cal's asking his wife for something. Okay. All right, go ahead and sit upright and take your arms into a sort of hands and fists and point it out. So we'll punch straight out to the sides and then draw back in and punch straight out to the sides. Good, and draw back in. And just go in that fashion a few more times, making a nice, straight, long, extended reach through those arms. Good. So if you can get the arms parallel to the ground, just at the height of the shoulders, good. And if you're looking at me, can you have the hands out of your peripheral view, meaning you're not punching forward of your shoulders at all, or as little as possible. You're just punching to the sides, yeah? Good. Punch left and back to center, and punch right and back to center. Now punch forward with your left arm and back to center. Punch forward with your right arm and back to center. Punch up with your left arm and back down, and punch up with your right and back down. Punch out with both arms to the sides and back to center. Punch forward with both arms and back to the heart, and straight up with both arms and back down to the heart. One more time, straight up. And stay up there. Open your fingers and roll your wrists. And I got to get my hands in view here. So hands are up there overhead, rolling. Fingers spread. Roll your wrists the other way. And keep those wrists rolling. And I'm just going to get closer and lower. Keep those wrists rolling and go out to the sides like your arms are a car wash here, washing the sides of your car. All the way down to the sides of your hips. Keep your eyes up. Switch the direction of those wrist rolls and fly them out to the sides and up, slow. This isn't in any way what a car wash does, but it is somehow mimicking it. Getting up top there again, roll your wrists the other way. Very good. Go one more time, out wide and down. Let the heat build a little in your shoulders as you're working those wrists, all the way down by your hips, all the way down. Good. Switch the direction of the rolls, all the way back out to the sides and up. Take a heavy sigh. Your body's probably asking for a little more oxygen here. Good. Set your hands down right at the midline. Keep your thumbs against your sternum and turn your chest left and right in your chair. Keep your legs steady. Notice if your legs are moving with your chest. Try to keep your knees right over your heels. Turn that chest whatever amount. Now notice what tension starts to build in your neck, shoulders, jaw. Try and relax those things a little bit. Also notice what thoughts come through your mind from these movements. Now, turn your eyes towards the shoulder that's coming forward. So turn your head the opposite way of the chest. When the chest goes left, your head turns right. When the chest goes right, your head turns left. In some ways, that's really just leaving your head where it is and turning your chest underneath it. So you might try a little awareness of where your eyes go when you're turning your chest. Can you turn your eyes the opposite way of the chest? Come back to center. Send your arms out wide to the sides and make sort of a gull wing shape here with your elbows up and your palms hanging. Good. Can we float those gull wings now? Flap the arms, let the shoulders lift those elbows and send a wave out through the fingers. Not the easiest work, I understand. Good. Turn your elbows over and turn your palms to the sky and dial your elbows forward and your hands back. Open your chest and squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back, and then squeeze your elbows back towards themselves behind you. Lifted heart. Good. Then turn over into that gull wing, hunch your back even, and pull your belly back. Turn your elbows back over, lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together and your elbows together towards the back. Inhale. Here's an exhale going the other way, rounding, hunching, belly back, rounded. Inhale, elbows go towards each other in the back, lifting heart, arched back. So here, there's always some form of arching and rounding in the beginning warm up here, and this is the one I've chosen today. So going, exhale, and squeeze shoulder blades together, lifting heart. Inhale, back and forth 2 more times. When you get to that lifted heart squeezing position the next time, stay in that lifted heart and twist gently left to right. See if there's anything interesting that happens with your spine there. Not painful, hopefully. As I always say, take it down a notch if you're feeling any pinching in your low back, but it's a bit of a back bend with a rotation in the upper chest. Good. Set your hands down on your knees and let's swivel those shoulders in a little more cyclical way here. Swim them in big turns, releasing all that tension we just invited into them. Reverse the swivels so you get the shoulders going the other way. Keep your eyes forward as best you can. That's it. Chuck. Good. And then face me and shrug your shoulders right up into your ears. Lift your heart. Even push your hands into your thighs to lift yourself a little more. And then relax your shoulders, relax your arms down by your sides, and just shake those arms, relaxing tension out. Now, if you have arms on your chair, then make sure, of course, you're not hitting them or hurting yourself there. Good. And then let's do a little more rolling of those wrists. I'm just feeling a need for that. In fact, a little more specific wrist stretch. So flexing and extending at the wrist with your hands forward, like you're turning a bar forward and down, and then turning it back up, and then turning forward and down and back up. Good. Turn your hands over. Do the same thing with an inverted position. Good. Try and get those wrists moving specifically. So not just elbows pumping, in fact, almost no elbow. Right? Just the wrist if you can. Good, Roy. Yep. Good. And then we're going to turn one hand over and like we're wringing out a washcloth. Open your fingers, grab the washcloth, wring it out. Open your fingers, grab it, wring it out. Open your fingers, grab it, wring it out. Now you probably went to a more habitual version, or you did the same thing I did. Switch sides so that the other hand faces up, the other down. Wring out that washcloth again. See if you can do the opposite thing. It's a coordination challenge that I'm inviting your left and right brain to talk to each other here, which maybe they haven't talked to each other much today. You don't know. You never know when the parts of your body haven't talked to each other. Yoga is a great place to find out. Shake it off. Good. Take your arms right out to the sides and just open your chest. Just create a big spread eagle shape here, or a big open chest. And then set your hands right at your heart, but keep a sense of that broadness in your collarbones. Even as your hands are resting against your heart, your elbows down by your ribs. Get a sense of long spine and steadiness up there over your sitting bones. Get a sense of length in the back of your neck by not craning your chin forward, but actually drawing your head back and your nose slightly down. Just slightly down. Take a breath or two. Now, if this position for your arms is really uncomfortable, you can rest your hands on your thighs. We're just going to take a few moments with our eyes closed. So can we close our eyes here in this upright seat? Take a few moments just to turn your attention, address your attention to your body, to your breath, to the mix of thoughts and emotions and sensations that are making up your reality right now. Take a few moments there to try and receive all the possible things that are feeding into, as information feeding into your conscious brain. Noticing that there are so many things under the surface that we aren't paying attention to. Oftentimes, we're not paying attention to our breath. We're not paying attention to the sensation of our heartbeat. But maybe here with your eyes closed, you can notice where your heart is beating, where you feel your pulse in your body somewhere. May not just be one place. Notice how your breath moves your body in some small way. It may move a majority of the bones in your upper body, or even out into your legs somehow. Your breath may be affecting your body. It may be also working in your nervous system. As you notice, your inhales have a quality, your exhales have another quality possibly. Consider that no one breath is like any other, that each breath has its own story in your body, in the way that each moment in your life lines up to make the arc of your life, but each moment has its own past and future, and its own moment in the present. In this way, I'm trying to invite you to soften a little and let go a little of whatever has been on your mind today, whatever you might be trying to predict about what will come in this class or in the rest of your day, or even letting go of longer arcs of concern around planning your life in the future or assessing your life in the past. Can we let go here for a period and be with the organism that we are right now, an expression of life with consciousness, and take an opportunity to build a little wonder or gratitude or love for that. This practice right here can change the structure of your mind as you practice meditating on yourself a little bit without judgment, without needing it to be any other way. You might open portals to freedom this way. Now, if your eyes are still closed, keep them closed. If they aren't closed, you're welcome to close them. If your hands are on your lap and you want to put them at your heart, that's fine. We will begin officially, I guess, with 3 ohms. These ohms are up to you whether you chant them or not, but I invite everyone to use the ohms as an opportunity to voice themselves into the room and to yourself. You are vibrating your body by using your voice, and that resonance through your body can wake up certain energies in your body that weren't awake before. And with Parkinson's, our voices get quieter sometimes, and so when we practice ohms those of you practicing ohms and your voices are getting quieter due to Parkinson's, it can be a helpful practice, just a therapeutic for your voice. So there's some good reasons to ohm, but again, if you don't feel inclined to, don't feel like you have to. Before we ohm, one more thing, dedicate your practice to something that, that matters to you, brings joy into your life, that spurs you into a deeper place in life. So this could be God, this could be gardening, this could be anything between. So doing this work for something that matters. And then we'll chant 3 ohms now. Inhale and ohm. Take one deep inhale through your nose. Get as full as you can with that inhale, and then exhale through your mouth. And get as empty as you can with that exhale, squeezing out the last drops of air if possible. And then one more inhale. Get super full, and then even still a little fuller, taking a final sip of air at the top there. Exhale through your mouth. All the way out, all the way out. Squeezing out any more air there at the bottom. Release your hands, breathe normally, please. Open your eyes if they're not already open. And we're gonna do a few more deep breaths here. So looking forward, let's inhale and sit up. Inhale through your nose. And exhale through your mouth as you lean a little forward. Now inhale through your nose, sitting up. Exhale through your mouth. Good. Look at me now. The final exhale, we're going to do a lion's breath, which means we're changing the shape of our face. We're going to stick our tongue out, open our eyes wide. This is called lion's breath. It's a big, scary face if you can make it. So you can watch me first if you want, and then do it yourself. Take an inhale. Lion's breath. Excellent. Very good. Sit up. Let's lean against the back of the chair now. So here we're starting right away to lean against the back of the chair. Sometimes folks don't have, their low back isn't comfortable with this recline, but I encourage you to try it out first, and maybe even try it out every time before you decide to either lie on the ground. Some folks I've had in the class lie on the ground, or sit up so that the low back is more supported with your hands. But if you can recline and scoot your butt forward on the chair, hug your belly down into your low back, start marching your legs here, and keep that belly hugged in. Consider all the time that you can spend hugging your belly into your low back. The whole time we're reclined here, we're trying to engage our belly and use a little gravity. Gravity's right there, pulling us down and making our legs heavy. And we're trying to lift our legs and build core muscles, and those core muscles are super useful for balance and getting around in the world, stabilizing ourselves, catching ourselves if we're heading towards a fall or something. It's important to have connection from the upper body to the lower body, and this core area is super important. So as we're marching here, if you can, lift your left knee, hug it in real close to your chest. See if you can stay with that left knee up and unweight your right foot off the ground, just barely. Then drop your right foot and drop your left leg down. Good. Lift your right knee now. So the same deal, lifting your right knee, engage your belly fully. Try not to let your low back pop in any way up as you start to float your left foot off the ground in this way. Very good. Drop your left leg, drop your right. Now glue your knees together, squeeze your belly into your low back. Keep your low ribs down, even look down so that you're actually not lifting with your chin either. Keep your chin down. See if you can keep your low belly down and lift both legs up here. Yeah. So you can look at your belly or look at me, but we're trying to lift the legs and lower the legs. And oftentimes when I see people trying to lift their legs who aren't practiced at this, they're trying to lift with their chin and their low ribs, and that's not a healthy way to work it. So even if your legs don't lift, keep that integrity and that stability in your low back by hugging that belly and keep the low ribs down. So if the legs don't lift or do lift, doesn't matter so much as you're engaging this area and building heat in your core. That's my goal. So if you can lift those legs and lower them, do it. If you don't, lift and leg, lower, still engage your belly just as much. Or even engage every time I lift a leg, engage your belly. As I drop my feet, you can relax your belly, right? As I lift my feet, you can engage your belly. As I drop my feet, you can relax your belly. Give it one more time, lift and lower, good. Now, go ahead and go wide with your legs and recline, open up your chest, open your arms back, lean back and take deep breaths. And consider you're sort of exalting your body right here, exalting this opportunity to move, and maybe even bring to mind what you dedicated your practice to, and consider that almost like it's a physical substance that you take in with your next inhale. So your inhale draws that whatever it was you dedicated to into your system, into your nervous system. And how does that infuse your nervous system? How does it give you maybe a little more motivation or a little more energy? Good. Release your hands back to your belly. Step your feet back onto the floor. Let's go ahead and bicycle just the right leg now. You can have your hands on your belly or hold the chair if that's more stable. Or even with your hands on the chair, if your low back needs the care, you can be pushing into the chair a little with your hands if your low back doesn't feel safe. But there's no requirement to push into your chair. You can have your hands on your belly and just have this be a lot of work right here again in the core and the hip. Now, as we reach out and bicycle this right leg one more time, can you point the toes and lower the straight leg, reaching, reaching, reaching down? Keep the toes pointed, lift the straight leg up, draw the knee in and flex the toes back. And then extend low, point the toes. We're going to do 3 slow reverse bicycles here, lifting the straight leg, drawing the knee in, flex the toes. Give it one more bicycle with this right leg. Up and back and down, and drop that leg and wag the knee in and out. Give it a rest here. Breathe. Reset your nervous system even, yeah? Very good, very good. Take your left leg now and just do your best to bicycle it out a few times in the forward direction, as though you're bicycling a giant bicycle. Now I'm getting right into building this heat, so just know that not all parts of the class will be this way. But it's important to heat up and build the heat in the body first before we stretch it out and do other things and trying to wake up the system. Now, the next time you go extending, point the toes, reach out as though you're drawing a stripe down the wall in front of you, slow, yeah? Now keep those toes pointed and lift the left leg up as the toes point. Go as high as you can, then pull your toes back, draw the knee in, squeeze the heel to your buttock, and then extend low. We're going to do 3 slow reverse bicycles. Point the toes, lift the straight leg, draw the toes back, the knee back. It may be getting harder each time. I understand that. Go ahead and extend one more time. Lift as best you can. Pull the toes back, knee back. Squeeze the heel in, drop the foot. Wag your knees in and out. Very good. Step your feet both out wide. Push your way upright. Yeah, so now getting tall on your spine. Take your hands to your knees and see if you can sit on that relatively on the front edge of the chair and lift your heart in this wide-legged open position. Relax your shoulders down your back or even shrug them a little down your back. Good. And even as you're lifting your chest, can you drop your chin a little? Yeah, so they don't have to be coupled that way necessarily. Good. Take your right arm up along your ear. Stretch tall. Root the right sitting bone down as you reach the right ribs high through the hand. Very good. Now turn to your left, staying tall. Reach out with your right hand and lean out a little over your left leg. Reach your right arm way off to the right, or left, I'm sorry, right arm off to the left. Then lean forward a little and sweep your right hand down in front of your legs. And then lean a little to the right and reach off to the right with your right hand. Then take the right arm up along the ear, facing forward. Good. Turn your chest left, reach your right arm left, down across the left knee. I'm going this slow for a reason, just so you can be attentive to every possible sensation that comes. Go crossing your legs, go cross off to the right, go up high. Let's do one more circle, 3 full circles here, turning left, reaching right arm left, leaning forward, left hand is supporting on that leg just to be stable here. Right arm now going off to the right and up to the sky. Very good, very good. Now, can we lean left without turning left? Just side bend to the left. You might put your left elbow down or left hand on your knee and support yourself there. Lift your right ribs, good. One more breath there. Can you bend your right elbow? Put your right palm behind your head now. Yeah. Now everybody lean a little forward onto that left elbow if you can. Lean onto your left elbow forward, yeah? Right hand is behind the head. If that's not a happy place for your shoulder, you can have your hand on top of your head, in front of your chest, on your forehead, just maybe not covering your eyes. Good, now we're gonna rotate and face the left knee with our right elbow reaching towards the left knee. And then rotate up towards the sky with the right elbow, heart lifting and looking up. Now your left elbow is staying on that knee. We're rotating chest towards the left knee, exhale, chest towards the sky, inhale, or elbow towards the knee, elbow towards the sky if you like. Exhale, rotate down, inhale, rotate up. Give it one more time, exhale, rotate down, inhale, rotate up. Good, yeah. Release that right arm and sit up and place your right hand back on your knee. Shrug those shoulders around in a sort of kayak swivel or whatever you want to call this. Good, Jim, yep. Sitting up to move, yep, good. Very good. Now, see if you can sit upright again. Take your left arm along your ear in this upright seat. Reach long, engage the muscles that lengthen, root the left sitting bone as you reach the left arm as high as you can. Straighten that elbow. Even as you're straightening the elbow, you don't have to hug the shoulder into the ear. See if you can relax the shoulder a little away from the left ear as you reach long. A breath, good. Now we're turning to the right, slow. Turn your chest to the right, reach your left arm off to the right. Lean a little right. Take that left hand down, sweeping in front of the right knee, in front of your pelvis, in front of the left knee, and off to the left. Reach a little left, and then take it up to the sky. Inhale, face me, and turn off to the right. Reach out to the right, slow. Now the slowness is important, just to sequence the muscles with the movement. Feel the sensations as you pass through all these spaces. Inhale up to the sky. Take one last circle. Turn right, reach the left arm right. Down in front of your knees, over to the left, lean left a little, yeah? So Cal, lean a little more left and then sit up and reach right up to the sky here. Big, tall reach, good. And then a side bend, so face me. You can put your right hand a little further forward on your knee. Just find a big open lift of your left ribs towards the sky, squeezing your right ribs a little towards your hip. Keeping your right shoulder towards the ground and not turning to the ground yet or open yet. Good, true side bend here. Nice, now lean down onto your right elbow. Bend your left elbow. If you want, put your hand behind your head, on your forehead, on your chest, on your shoulder, where it suits you here. Inhale, open your chest to the sky. Exhale, close your chest towards your right knee gently. Inhale, turn open. Exhale, close down. Good. Now, if you get the sense that your hand is pulling your head and your chin into your sternum, don't let your hand force your head forward and down, right? So if your hand would be better on your ear, for example, or on your shoulder so you can turn your head and keep your head in line with your shoulder, your spine, then do so, please, yeah? The next time you close down towards your right knee, let that be the last one, left elbow to right knee. And then turn back open and stay in the open position. Reach your left arm up high, lean back. Do any enjoyable back bending here that you might find. And then gently sit your way upright. Take your hand back to your knee and shrug your shoulders in a little kayak swivel. And go the other way in those swivels. Shrug up, good. Shrug your shoulders both to your ears again. Push into your hands and see if you can jettison your spine longer. Great, relax that. Bring your feet back to center And forward fold onto your elbows here. Just take a moment of rest. Your feet don't have to be together. They can be, say, hip width distance, knees hip width distance, and just rest on your elbows and hang your head. Now, hanging your head, can you sway your head left and right and see if any other parts of your back, neck rest more, right? Relax the neck muscles in your neck anywhere you can. So no need to look at me here. See if you can just let your head be heavy. And then lift your eyes and sit up and lean against the back of your chair again. Grab onto your chair. Start marching your legs again. And again, the more reclined you are, the more access you may have to lifting those legs. So scooting your butt forward on the chair and your back down the chair can help. Sam, see about dropping your chin a little bit, your nose a little, yes, and shrug your shoulders away from your ears a little bit if possible, yeah, yes, good. But I'm not sure if you're leaning all the way back, so just make sure you're leaning against the back of the chair too, yeah. Now, those of us, if you want to make a second bus stop here, by walking your legs this way, that can be an extra layer of challenge. Of course, it does not have to. My goal is to get everyone into their envelope of pushing the envelope wherever that envelope exists, and trust yourself to have your own envelope, and it's okay, whatever that is whatever that envelope is for you. It doesn't have to be anyone else's. The goal is to challenge yourself up to some capacities and see where they can grow. Good. If you're floating here and pause with your knees up, give it a shot there, and if you don't lift your legs, that's still fine. Engage your belly strong. Excellent. Release, go wide with your legs again. Go wide with your arms and recline in your chair and open up and take deep breaths. Bring your attention back to the sensations, back to like what your body is feeding back here, not just the commentary you have on your body, but what are the sensations of relief? How does your body give you a sense of relief here from the work we just did? Those chemicals are vital, of course, to the work. Now, can you zip your legs together and reach your arms straight behind you and get a big long line in your body? Toes forward and down, fingers back and high, elbows going straighter if possible. A little straighter there, Cal, if possible. Go straighter in those arms. Good, Cal, yep, keep going. One more breath. Now, can we clasp hands behind the head, both behind the head? If that's, again, forcing your chin down and your shoulders aren't enjoying that, have your hands on top of your head or on your chest, it's fine. Or you can leave your arms up somewhere else, right? So that they aren't messing with your neck. Side bend now to your left. So lean left in this backward or this recline and get in a big open right side. And that's right, Linda Commercial, you can, yeah, go to your back. That's great. Side bend to your right and lift your left rib. So it's called a crescent moon shape. Lift your heart, engage your belly, stabilize your spine. One more breath. Great, come back to center. Release your hands down, step your feet onto the floor, take your right knee up and grab onto your right knee. Pull it close to your chest. Maybe your both hands go on top of the shin and you roll your forehead towards your knee. Circle your right ankle as you breathe here, hugging deep into the right knee. Now, those of you watching me for the first time, you might turn me around in your head and say, he's holding his left leg. And that's true. I am holding my left leg, but I'm trying to mirror for you. So I'm asking you to hold your right leg, and it looks like a mirror to you when I'm holding my left. That's all. Now, holding your knee, lift your heart, lean back away from the knee, and push your knee into your hands. So I'm not changing a whole lot except the lengthening of my spine and the energy I'm using by pushing my knee forward into my hands and holding my knee in place. What this does is activate some stretch on my right hip and right gluteal area, and it lengthens out the low back and my belly engages, and there's some sort of integration that I'm asking for from that, yeah? Good. Relax that effort a little bit and sweep the knee left and right, holding the leg. Good. Come to center, clasp your hands behind your thigh, and extend and bend your right leg there in front of you. Try to keep the knee in place. Bend and straighten in the knee. See if your shoulders don't have to be hugging your neck and they roll down your back a little bit. So in this way, we'd be strengthening up the muscles on the side ribs to hold the leg up in a way because our shoulders are down. Give it one more kick, straighten out that right leg, point and flex your right foot. Give it a couple breaths there with that extended right leg. Good, Roy, yep. Then bend your knee and turn the knee way out wide to the side. Pull it out wide with your right hand. Maybe the foot's in front of the knee now, so notice how wide my foot is. Oftentimes people's foot's on the inside, and that's a different pose than what I'm asking for right here. This is called half happy baby pose. You're either holding the shin at the front, around the side, or even over top and pulling the knee back this way. So that could be another option, is grab the ankle or grab the outer foot. Half happy baby can be many options for many different hips, yeah? So this could be one. Knee fold back, maybe you grab the shin, maybe you thread your arm inside the shin and get the knee back, maybe you grab the foot. Maybe you have a strap around the foot there, Roy. Strap up the foot and pull the foot back with the knee wide. And keep the foot wide though too, yeah. So this is another, good. Now sweep the right foot on top of the left knee and see if you can let the right knee fall open. Yeah. So here I'm reclined to start. If the knee is super high, then sitting up may not help, because sitting up may mean I'm just kind of trying to round my back out. I'm not trying to get to that particular landmark. The goal is a stretch in the outer right hip. So what I want is a long low back, and maybe that low back comes up. Maybe that long low back can fold forward, but not folding forward just by trying to get your nose towards your shin, yeah? So the goal is open chest, collarbones wide, and outer right hip getting the stretch. Your knee should never hurt in this pose. If it does, back off. One way to stabilize the knee a little better is to flex your right ankle so your toes pull back towards the knee and the heel reaches long. And this way you activate the muscles along the shin and the knee. It stabilizes the knee a bit. It doesn't always do the trick if you have knees that need more care than that, right? So just be careful there, but breathe and see what you can allow as far as space being created in this right hip, as it's obviously, hopefully, obviously getting a stretch. Also, there could be a lot of activation in the hamstring and the inner groin muscles here that I'm asking, you know, your body to relax a little bit. And this may be challenging to relax, is to relax these inner groin muscles. They may not relax ever in a way that is fully satisfying, but you don't know until you find out, until you go there and try and practice with it, yeah? So give it a couple more breaths, trying to let this right knee fall open and down. And Cal, I'm seeing that knee pretty high, but I know you do have tight hips, so don't worry about pushing it. And I know you also, yeah, you also have some other stuff going on with your knees and stuff, I think so. Anyway, I'm just scanning around, scanning to see what assistance I could offer for anyone. Another breath. All right, go ahead and uncross that right leg, put it on the ground, wag your knees in and out. Good, and sit up if you can, yeah? Good. Now we're gonna do a second thing with this right hip. I want you to step your left foot wide, left foot out to the right, left, swivel your right knee towards the ground. I'm gonna scoot back to give you a better view. So we're turning this direction, the knees turning to turn left, the right knee towards the ground, the left knee out wide. Now, so we'll do two different poses in this general position, yeah, facing a little left. The first pose, I'm gonna ask you to stretch the right thigh, and that can be a challenge, and it's a lot of muscle, so give yourself some leeway there. But putting your hands on your left thigh like this, and pulling your belly backwards like this, rounding out your low back, and reaching the right knee towards the ground at the same time, away from the front right hip point, will hopefully stretch that right thigh. Yeah, so notice I'm not leaning forward. If I'm leaning forward, I'm putting flexion in the hips and I'm taking all the possible stretch out of the equation. I'm actually pulling my belly back. There may be a rounding forward of my chest, but the belly is going back and the knees going forward. I'm trying to send my tailbone between my legs and up between the legs, yeah? Or the other way to think of it is pubic bone up towards ribs, closing that distance between pubic bone and ribs. If you're not feeling a stretch on your thigh, lucky you. But explore this idea. Please don't let it hurt your knee though. Again, if your right knee doesn't feel like if it feels like it's more a right knee thing than a thigh stretch, then come out of it a bit, yeah? Give it a couple more breaths here. This can be intense. Very good. Now, go ahead and reverse the pelvis. So we're going to tilt the pelvis forward and extend the right leg any more behind us. So we're going to try and find more of a lunge type position. I'm just going to turn a little bit to give you more of a view of that from the front. And then your right arm might come along your ear as your left hand is on your thigh, or your left hand on the chair to stabilize even more. So bring your heart up over your hips, reach high and look up. This is called crescent lunge, and the goal is a crescent from the back, right heel through the right fingertips up. So send that energy up, 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 up. Mm-hmm. Good, another breath. Beautiful, Sam, good. Go ahead and release that right hand down. Turn back to face center, any safe way you can get there, back to a forward facing chair, yeah? Wag your knees in and out. Step your feet out wide. We'll do a forward bend with wide legs. So this forward bend could either be elbows on knees or all the way down inside the legs. You could have your hands going down if you want. So it's up to you. The goal is to rest ourselves in a forward bend and either elbows on knees or even all the way down hanging off our hips, as long as you don't fall out of your chair. And take deep breaths there. See how much you can give over to gravity without falling, obviously, without coming out of your chair. Take 2 more breaths there. Gently lift your way back upright and step your feet back to the floor. Somebody got Jim brought his dog in to play with the game here. We've got dog yoga. Downward dog may come someday. I'll wag your knees in and out. All right, let's try going for the other side, yeah? So go ahead and lean back. Scoot your butt forward on the chair. Take your left knee up now. Grab onto your left knee from the front if you can, or behind it if that's a better grip. Draw your nose towards your knee and round your back. Get as close, your knee as close to your chest as you can, your nose as close to your knee as you can. Circle your ankle out and breathe. And circle the other way. Rounding out that spine. Good. Mm-hmm. Now lift your eyes, lift your heart, lean back, push your knee forward into your hands, resisting the knee into your chest with your hand, pulling your knee into your chest with your hands as you reach the knee forward into your hands. So in this way, we're getting a low back engagement, a sitting bone, some stretch in the hip there, some activation even in the front thigh. To me, it sort of integrates a lot of energy in the pelvis. Good. Relax some of that energy and start sweeping your left knee left and right. Mm-hmm. So here we're trying to sort of define the space in our left hip socket, left to right. Mm-hmm. Good. Come to center. Take your hands and clasp them under your thigh. Interlace the fingers behind your thigh. Extend and bend that left leg. Again, if you find yourself shrugging your shoulders to your ears, try and roll them down the back. Give your neck some space. Extend and bend wherever you are, right? So even if the leg's way low, that's fine. Just keep the knee where it is and extend and bend in whatever position whatever tilt that thigh bone can be towards the sky. Give it a couple more extensions. When you extend the next time, keep it extended. Point and flex the foot up there. Take some breaths. Give it a couple more breaths with this hamstring stretch, maybe even pushing into the right foot a little bit as you extend the left leg up. Good, bend your knee and pull it out wide to the side. Now your left hand may pull the knee wide under the thigh. Your left hand may grab the top of the shin and pull the knee wide there. Can you get the foot wide as much as the knee is wide, right? So if my knee is in line with my shoulder, my foot's also in line with my shoulder. If my knee is wider than the shoulder, the foot's wider than the shoulder. If there's availability, take the left hand over the shin and grab the shin, or even the outer edge of the foot and pull that knee back. So it could be many options. And again, don't judge yourself or have a lot of commentary about how stiff or whatever you are. You're pushing yourself into the capacity just like everyone else, and that's the goal. And we're all trying to get as uncomfortable as everyone else, or at least I'm trying to make you as uncomfortable as everyone else. Give it another couple breaths. Right, and that foot wide there now, Roy. Wide foot out as wide as your knee. And the knee nice and wide and pulled. Yes, good. Now take that foot and cross it over your right knee. Let the left knee fall open. Any amount, right? So take a moment to rest in this position as best you can. Now there's options that many of you already know. If that knee's super high, you can extend the right leg and draw the foot down a little lower. That could give you a little more stretch. Some of you will be sitting up here with a long low back. Some people don't have a hip stretch happening for them, even when they fold forward. Those people don't need this hip stretch. And there are people out there that are like that. I'm not sure I have anyone in my class today that has that, but you know, there are probably the biggest variety of biggest variance that I see in terms of tight things are hips. People's hips are all sorts of open, tight, wide, narrow, different angles, different legs do different things. My right knee is way higher than my left knee when I'm in this position. It's just going to be like your own thing. There is no one way to have this, but the general shape can be a good place to start. And then finding your modifications for your body is key. If you find you're not finding a stretch here, please let me know. The idea is an outer gluteal stretch without threat to the knee. And maybe an exhale can soften that just a little. Let's do 2 more breaths here if we can. Very nice, very nice. Go ahead and uncross that leg, step it to the ground, wag your knees in and out. And do sit up, whatever way you can. Sit up right away from the back of the chair. Good, Roy. Yep, yep. Step your right foot off wide to the right. Turn your left knee towards the ground. Even slide your left foot back a little bit. Now, some toes don't like this, so there's so many things I could modify or offer. Many of you have been in my class for a while. I'm not going to go through all the possible modifications because you know what your modifications are, but sometimes toes are sensitive. You could put a block under the foot or pillows so that you can be in this position. Now, first thing is first, thigh stretch. Put your hands on your right thigh rather. You're sending your left knee towards the ground and rolling your pelvis backwards. Tilt to the back edges of your sitting bones as best you can and sort of hunch your back, not unlike that gull wing thing we did before. Yeah, so we're trying to get a deep stretch in the front left thigh, and it takes a fair amount of work in the upper body to get there. The upper body has to do a fair amount of leveraging against that stable left knee reaching down and left hip pulling back. And if, again, you're not finding the stretch, it may be little adjustments that help you find it. Like if the knee is winging out to the left too much, maybe you try and guide the knee more under your hip a little more. Give it 2 more breaths here. Hopefully there's a stretch along the left front thigh. Then lift your eyes, looking Off to the right, say. Extend your left leg a little further back. Your right foot should be solid under its knees. So it is the lunging leg at the front. Take your left arm along your ear. Your right hand could go on the chair beside you. Reach up and tall. Lengthen up your spine. Look up, please. Not just leaning out over your right leg. In fact, try not to lean out over your right leg. Lift your chest up right over your hips if you can. And reach up and look up. Now, if that left shoulder isn't happy reaching up, take your hand to your heart so that you can lift your heart, right? So Roy, I'm going to say take your left hand to your heart so that you can be a little more upright with your chest, yeah? Same with, yeah, that's good, Cal. Yep, there you go, a little more upright. Good. One more breath. Reaching back with the left heel, reaching up with the left hand. Excellent. Release that left hand down. Gently make your way to safe facing forward position. Take your hands to your knees. Before we go anywhere else, can we slowly roll our chest around over our hips? Rocking front, side, back, side, front. Consider your sitting bones. Sometimes I think of this motion, thinking about my sitting bones like I'm in one of those sleds that's called the flying saucer or something. It's just a circular, you know, like a satellite dish kind of shape. So rocking around the full circumference of that sled, if that makes sense. Go the other way in the circling. Keep your eyes up if you can. Chuck. Good work. Yeah, good, good. Eyes up. That's okay, yeah. Good. Sitting upright, take your arms wide again. Lengthen out through the fingertips. Dial your arms alongside your ears and straight up to the sky. Now we're going to take our elbows down and dial them back and lift our heart here. So palms facing the ceiling, elbows back. Now notice there could be a deep crunch in the shoulders and neck. Try not to get that collapse in the back of the neck. Keep the back of the neck long even if you are looking up in some fashion. Then send your arms forward, round out your back and palms facing up. So you're kind of like serving someone very humbly. And then lift your heart, pull your elbows back, arch your back. Inhale, exhale, reach forward, round your back. Inhale, pull your elbows back, lift your heart, arch. Exhale, reach forward, round. Two more here. Inhale, slow lift, elbows back, squeezing behind you. Exhale, reach forward, round. Last one, inhale, elbows back, lifting heart. Exhaling, reach forward and round. Now keep your arms out there, lift your spine tall, lean out, reach out, and lengthen your spine as far forward as you can. So reach to me, or wherever forward is for you. Feet are solid on the floor, so it's really important those feet are under the knees or even a little forward of the knees to stabilize you as you reach out. Big reach, good. Yes, yep, feel free to wiggle your fingers. Yes, this is a lot of work in the core and the back as well, right? Now, can you stay leaning forward just a few more moments, but try and lift your arms up. So not lifting the chest, but just the arms. We're not trying to lift the chest at all. We're trying to work the shoulders against this forward lean a little bit. Yes, good. Now rest your elbows on your knees or all the way down, chest to knees, and rest in a forward bend, whatever suits this rest here for you. Give in to gravity in any way you can without coming out of your chair. Heavy sigh. Gently lift your eyes, sit up. Good. Now looking forward, we're going to do some cross-body reaches. So twist and reach your right arm up to the left, big twist. Good. Drop that down, switch, reach your left arm to the right, twist, high. Good, back down. Now we're going to go just parallel to the shoulder. Reach your right arm to the left, parallel to the shoulder. And back down with the right hand. Reach parallel to the left shoulder with the left arm off to the right. And back down. Now we're going to reach low, right hand down low, twisting down low. Good, and back up. And left arm down low to the right. And back up. Good, now I'm going to call it out randomly. So I'm going to say left arm high right, and you will do what? Yep. Back to center. Yeah, so there's high, mid, and low, and there's left and right, okay? So let's see what we can do here. Let's see if I can get the language. Left arm, mid, right. Good, back to center. Right arm, mid, left. Good, back to center. Right arm, mid, right. There it is, just like this, right arm, mid, right. Yep, back to center. Caught you there at the end, Linda. Yep. Left arm, low right. Back to center. Right arm, high left. Back to center. Left arm, low left. Good, back to center. Left arm, mid left. Nice, back to center. Left arm, low right. Good, back to center. Right arm, mid left. Back to center. Right arm, high left. Good, back to center. Left arm, right, high right, high right. That didn't come out well. Back to center. Both arms, mid right. Yep, back to center. Both arms, low left. Back to center. Left arm, high right. Right arm, low left. Back to center. Good. Left arm, high left. Right arm, low right. Good. Back to center. Left arm, mid left. Right arm, mid right. Good. Let's go dialing these arms up and down. Let's fly away from this. Big circles now. Imagine you're drawing a giant clock that you're in the center of. You're in the center of the clock. Dial those arms. Noon to 6, or midnight to 6. Good. One more time, go up high. Good. Now, let's do a cyclone. Take your left arm down and reach it off to the right, and reach your right arm off to the left, high. So a cyclone arm here. Not the easiest thing. Good. Dial the cyclone the opposite way, completely. Right arm to the left leg, left arm along the ear. Side bend right. Very nice. One more time. Cyclone the other way, left arm outside the right knee, right arm along the ear. Good. Cyclone the other way, right arm outside the left knee, left arm along the ear. Very nice, very nice. Come back to center, release those arms, shake it off. We're gonna stand up and do some standing stuff, please. So step your feet a little closer to your chair. Here's how I always talk about getting up, but you don't have to do it this way. And today we're just gonna kind of go through it rather quickly, but stepping the feet close to the chair gets your toes behind your knees and your capacity to lengthen your spine out and get your nose past your toes. We can try and stand up just by pushing into our legs, go from a squat to a stand. If that's not available to you, I want to make sure that you've got a lot of weight forward. Maybe you use your hands on the chair, or maybe you put your hands on your knees if your low back stabilizes better that way, yeah? So the practice is to come out of the chair without the hands, just to work those thighs and try and build that capacity to stand up, but it is not required. And of course, it's just a practice. And the reason we practice it is so that over time, as you practice standing that way, you know, the Parkinson's will possibly start to get in the way of your ability to stand out of a chair. And so we want to keep that capacity as often as much as we can, yeah? So once you're standing, get a chair in front of you, stand behind your chair. And from this standing position, I'm actually going to work our thighs a little bit to start. So I'm just going to move up a little closer. What I'd like is just for you to be standing behind your chair, bend and straighten your knees, just a little squat there. Sit your hips down and back up. So think of it almost as like you're trying to sit back you're heading towards sitting in a chair behind you. Yeah, so heading towards sitting your hips into a chair behind you. And what that hopefully does is it means that your thighs have to work. So you're bending your knees. If you were going to forward fold without bending those knees, your hips aren't going to get into that chair. So sitting the hips down into the imaginary chair and back up. Yeah, and this is called chair pose once we sit in it. So sit into chair pose, pause in this pose. It's also known as fierce pose, also known as awkward pose. Any given day may be different names for yourself on this. Yeah. Now this pose, you know, the goal is weight bearing in your legs. So if you're seated and you're practicing a seated practice today, this may not be, it's not easily achieved, but you can have your legs wide and still sort of sit with wide legs and knees bent. Yeah. So we're hanging out here, and I know it's building some heat, and that's the goal. Take another breath or two. Feel free to roll your eyes as much as you like, but be with yourself here. That's the part of it. I'm inviting you to be curious rather than to have that commentary get ramped up too much. Go ahead and stand back up. Very nice. Shake it off. Now we're going to go into the chair pose, but we're also going to do a little step. So we're going to combine a couple movements. I'm going to take it apart a little bit. So what I'm going to invite is that we sit into chair first, and then unweight the left foot and tap the left heel out forward of your chair a little bit. So it'll look like that, and then you step your left foot back in, unweight your right foot, tap the heel, step it back in. So this move is what I'm going to start with here. So we're going to stay in the squat. Every time you put a foot underneath you, the knee is still bent. Now, if you have knee pain, just make it a little shallower. Don't have to push it too hard. Part of this is nervous system training about not putting weight on that foot that goes out, which is not a wrong thing, that you would put a weight into the foot. The normal thing is, of course, to take a step, but here we're not taking a step just yet. Yeah? Good. Now, when you step your right foot out the next time, keep it out there. Pause in putting most of the work in that left leg. The left leg is essentially in chair pose or in awkward pose. The right leg is hanging out there. Now we're going to transfer our weight to our right foot and go into a little lunge. So it'll look like this with a straight left leg, right knee bent, eyes are up, your chair is largely just in front of you, right inside that right foot. Good. Shift your weight back to the back leg. And again, we're going into this pose, yeah? I have to keep moving my chair just to show you what's going on, yeah? Shift your weight back into the right foot, lunge forward into the right knee. Good, shift your weight back into the left leg, straight right leg, bent left knee. Good, step your right foot back in, extend your left heel out to the side. Nice. Now we're gonna shift our weight out over the left leg. Lunge and push into that right heel. Get strong push into the right foot. That's really key. Upright spine as best you can there. Good. Shift your weight back into the right foot, right knee. Good. Lunge forward into the left knee. Chest open, collarbones wide, broad, relax shoulders away from the ears. Good. Shift your weight back into the right foot. So this is left to right shifting as well as front to back shifting. This is all useful information for your nervous system to have as you practice walking, etc. Good, and balance, yes. Go back one more time, shifting your weight into the back leg, straight left leg, and step your left foot back into center and stand up. Very nice. Shake that off or shift your weight left and right. Doing all right, Sam. You've got a strong hold on you, so you look like you're safe there, but there's a lot of work going on with some help back there. All right, now we're going to do a step backwards, similar kind of work. It's just basically the reverse of what we just did in some ways. We're gonna end up in the same shape, but we're gonna step backwards. So I have to show you stepping backwards from turned around so that you can see my feet. So it's gonna look like this. You're gonna lift your your right foot, step your right foot back, your toes will be turned out a little bit. Shift your weight into the back foot and lunge as you straighten that front left leg, and it looks like this from the side. So you're in this squat backwards. Then you're gonna shift your weight to the front leg and even come up and lift your right leg, balanced on your left leg. Then step back with the right foot again, heel goes down, shift your weight back, straight left leg as you shift your weight, balance over the back leg. Yeah. Then roll forward onto the left toes, launch up, see if you can lift your right foot even. Tall spine. Good. Step your right foot back one more time. Right knee bends, left leg goes straight, weight goes into the back foot, fold towards that left leg. Take this opportunity to give yourself a little more hamstring stretch if you like. Forward folding and staying in the forward bend, hands holding that chair. Can you emphasize the energy of the hamstring stretch, not by folding more, but by hugging the left thigh bone up into its hip socket, pull the toes back, reach the heel long out of the hip. Any more stretch there that you can cultivate in the left hamstring. If you're seated, you could do left hamstring stretch here, extending your left leg in front of you and folding towards it. Another breath. I know it's a lot of work in that right leg. Good. Walk your hands up the chair. If you walk them down, lift your chest up, roll down onto the left foot. Let's launch up and stand on the left leg. We're lifting the right leg up. Lengthen that spine. Now, if you feel you have your balance pretty well, you might take one arm up along your ear, maybe both if that's an interesting practice for you, but do not threaten your balance too much here. Just practice a little bit. Use that chair as needed for reference, please. Good. Step your right foot down, left hand down, or whatever leg, and shake it off. Let's do a little swivel of our hips before we go around to the other side. So just circle your hips around, hula hoop those hips. Good. Go the other way. Very nice. And then we'll try the other side, yeah? So I'll, again, show it from the back just for consistency's sake. Lifting your left foot, step your left foot back. Toes go down, heel goes down to the midline. So we're turning the heel a little in, the toes out. Then shift your weight back over that left leg, straightening your right leg. The right toes come up. It looks like this from the side. And then roll forward onto the right toes. Lift even your left heel, launch up, stand on your right leg, lifting your heart. So we're trying to make, again, a bit of a crescent shape from the crown of the head to the back heel. Then soften the right knee, step back with the left foot, and then bend the left knee as you straighten the right leg forward, folding towards the straight right leg. Very nice. Roll forward, place your weight into the right foot, launch up, stand up, reach your heart up. Go back one more time, or two more times actually, back into this lunge, sort of backwards lunge, and then forward, standing over the right leg, launching, lifting. Last time going back now, pausing for the hamstring stretch for a little extra time if you like. Check in with that right foot for another couple set of cues here would be about the right foot. Sometimes we sickle the foot when we're trying to do a hamstring stretch, meaning that the big toe mound pulls back more than the little toe mound. Can we pull both big toe and little toe back equally towards your right knee? Which may mean you're rotating your right big toe forward to get it in line with your left pinky toe, if that makes sense. Don't worry about it if it doesn't feel like that makes any sense. Just stay here, do 3 more breaths in your hamstring stretch. There's plenty of work happening in the left leg as well. Gently roll onto the right foot, walk your hands back up the chair, lift your spine up nice and tall, swivel your left heel up off the ground and launch to a standing position over your right leg. You may practice balance a little more with one arm up or both, practicing an effort to get a tall, extended space there on your body. Take another breath or two. Step it down, hands to the chair. Now, let's actually turn the chair sideways so that the seat of the chair is available to you. So I'm going to face you now again. Turn the chair sideways so that you can fold down and put your hands on the seat of the chair. I think it'll be easier to start with a standing position, step your feet wide, and then put your hands on the chair. But whatever, hands on the chair and then widen feet, or widen feet and then hands on the chair, your choice, yeah? So the idea here is a wide-legged forward bend with support of that chair right underneath your hands, yeah? Now, we could practice push-ups right here, perfect opportunity. Hands on that chair, bend your elbows back, push back in. So Here, there's a lot of weight over our feet, so you can practice mitigating how much work you put into your arms as you fold down and push away. Now, my hands have to be quite close to each other because the seat of the chair doesn't really offer a lot of space. But as best you can, get your hands a little wide from each other and bend your elbows towards your ribs. Now, if this hurts your shoulders, or if you want, turn the chair sideways so you have more width there, right? Or turn it around. If that chair has more capacity in one way or another, go ahead and put it in whatever position suits you there. Yeah. Now, come down and see if you can get your spine parallel to the ground in this forward bend. So it looks like this from the side. It's a wide-legged forward bend, hands on that, forearms on that chair, or hands on the chair. If forearms down doesn't feel good for you, hands on the chair is fine. But do try to keep your weight over your feet so that your arms aren't doing a whole lot of work. They're just stabilizing your upper body and stabilizing your back so you're not straining your back in this forward bend. Now hang out here. See if you can allow a little more width in your sitting bones. And how do you do that? Well, think of rolling your inner thighs back and high, arching your low back. It can look a little bit like you're trying to fluff your tail feathers here. Tailbone reaching to the sky a little bit. Now, if you're in a chair and you want to do wide-legged forward bend, that's totally great. Wide legs, forward fold. Elbows on the inner knees, pushing those apart. Those of you in the standing wide-legged forward bend, come back up and put your hands on that chair. Now we're still in the wide-legged forward bend. Can we leave the left hand down on the chair and turn? You might put your right hand on the chair or just open up and reach your right arm up to the sky. Twisted forward bend, good. Turn back down, place your right hand down, turn open, take your left arm open to the sky, twisted the other way. Very nice. Release your left hand down, switch one more time, right arm goes up. If you're in a seat and you want to do this, forward bend with that right arm, good, Jim, yep. Switch, release your right hand down, turn your left arm back up, twist open to the left. That's great, Jim, good. Release your left hand back down, soften your knees, drop your hips, come up to stand with those wide legs. Can you keep your legs wide? Turn your chair back around so you have the seat of the chair or the back of the chair right in front of you. Very good. Now, with the wide legs, turn your toes to the left. So you're trying. I'm also turning my right toes a little left, but my left toes deeply left, straight left. Then lunge your left knee. As you lunge your left knee, engage your right thigh. Right. So we're stabilizing the right thigh as we lunge the left knee out over its heel. Very good. Turn your chest to face the direction your left knee is pointing and take your left arm up along your ears. So you're in what's called Warrior One pose, facing left here. If you feel stable enough, take your right arm also up along your ear, facing Warrior One pose. Can we turn this open to Warrior Two? Open your chest, take your arms out, left arm over the left heel, right arm over the right heel, or hands on the chair as needed for stability here. Bring your chest upright as best you can over your hips. Eyes up, chest up, head over shoulders. Good, Chuck. Yes, even better, Chuck John. Good, good. Nice deep lunge. Can we exalt this warrior now? Drop your right hand along your hip, take your left arm up, or your right hand on the chair, lift your left ribs and side bend back away from that lunging left knee. Can you lunge the left knee more, but lift the left ribs more? Very nice, good. Go ahead and release all of that. Straighten out the left leg, left hand to the chair, turn back to face forward with both toes. Good. Final pose on the standing series here. Turn your right toes to the right, swiveling on that right heel. Lunge your right knee. As you lunge the knee, engage your left thigh. Yeah, so your left thigh is helping stabilize the back leg. Your right thigh is obviously working to just to be in the lunge. But not only can your right thigh be working, can you engage your right glute and your right hamstring there by pulling the heel, the right heel towards the left heel a little bit. All of that stabilizing your legs. Turn your chest to face right, the direction your right knee is pointing. Look directly the direction that your right knee is pointing and take your right arm up along your ear for the first version of Warrior One. Keep your eyes up, your chest upright as best you can. You're looking to the right. Maybe your left arm is easy to bring up along your ear and you're in warrior one with both arms up. Doesn't have to be though. You can have whatever amount of stability you need from that chair. Breathe in your warrior one inhale. Exhale another breath here and squeeze the legs into the ground or push the feet into the ground, whatever stabilizing you can do in your legs. Take one more inhale. And then open to warrior two on the exhale. Take your left arm back, your right arm forward, turn your chest open, or your left hand to the chair, right arm forward. Good. Upright spine, back of the neck long there, Chuck John. You're doing great there, lifting your chest a little more. Yes, take your right arm along your ear, lean back. It's exalting warrior here. Lunge more in the right knee, even as you lift your right ribs. It's meant to be a true side bend, so we're not turning towards the leg. We're actually turning towards the side as we lift our ribs. One more breath in this exalted warrior two pose. Very good, everybody. Straighten out the right leg, take your right hand to the chair, turn your right toes back in, and heel toe your feet into center. Very nice. Releasing everything, we'll just march our knees high to the sides to our shoulders. Balance, practice a little bit here. One knee up and then the other. And then I'm just going to pause with one leg up. Lift the left knee, pause there. Practice your balance here. You might place your left foot on the inner right calf for classic tree pose, or you might leave the left knee up if you want to work these muscles in the hip. We've been doing a fair amount of work today, so no worries in taking the calmer version. Can you be upright? Soften and bend your right knee just slightly. A little bounce in that right knee to find the muscles in your hips that stabilize you. Stabilize here, maybe your right arm goes up. Maybe practice taking your left hand off the chair. Keep that right knee soft and keep a sense that you have access to where your pelvis can be placed over that right heel. That's going to be key for your balance, is where that pelvis gets placed. And as I mentioned before, placing that pelvis has a lot to do with your core and ability to access your core muscles. So the balance is deeply tied to core strength. Give it another breath. Awesome. Step it down. Switch sides. Lift your right knee high first. Get tall in your left leg. And then place your right foot on your inner left calf. Soften and straighten your left knee. A few bounces there in the left leg. And this bouncing, just use it to identify which muscles come online when you allow yourself down into gravity a little and push yourself away from the earth a little. What muscles come online? Can you identify a little bit more detail there? Then straightening your left leg any amount. You might take your left arm along your ear in tree pose here. If you're seated, left arm up still, totally fine. Tree pose in a chair is great. Good, Jim. Yep. Again, your right hand can float off the chair, play with taking support out of the chair or not, right? Both hands may be on the chair or not. Play with your envelope again. Your particular envelope is your place to learn. Give it another breath or two. Awesome. Step it down, release it, shake it off. Let's go to the floor. We're almost out of time, so let's make our way down onto our backs. Now, you might want to keep a chair handy, especially if you have a tender low back. You might have that chair handy for a final pose, or resting pose, where your legs might go up on the chair to release any tensions in your low back. But not required, always just an option. I'm going to move the mat a little closer. Get the screen a little bit more on me. Now, if you don't have a mat, that's not a problem. You can take your phone or whatever you're looking at, whatever screen you have. If it's mobile, you can take it to your bed or to a couch, or you can lie on your carpeted floor, whatever you want to do. If you are able to lie down, that's a good place to go in the end. But if you would like to stay seated, that's still absolutely fine and not a problem. Yeah. If you're going to your back, once you get there, take your knees to your chest. Holding your knees, rock left and right. Take some heavy sighs. Then place your feet on the ground. We're going to do a bridge pose from here. So feet on the ground, bring your arms alongside your hips. Shrug your shoulders into the ground. Your feet are up close to your sitting bones and hip width away from each other. Push into your feet and lift your pelvis up and rise into what's called bridge pose, trying to get a bridge from your heels to your shoulders. Take a few breaths in this bridge pose for a little opening in the front body. Notice this can also stretch your thighs. This is like an opportunity to stretch your thighs, especially if you pull your belly in and try and reach your tailbone more to the backs of your knees and activate your glutes and your hamstrings. Give it a couple more breaths. Gently roll your pelvis back down onto the floor. Take your knees one more time into your chest. Holding your knees, can you curl your nose up towards your knees here also, so you're rounding your upper back as well. Rocking into a little egg shape here on your mid back. Rock left and right. And release your legs out wider, feet wider than a mat or wider than your hips, and let your knees go knock-kneed. So your feet are wide on the ground, knees bent, and knock-kneed against each other. Take your arms out nice and wide so they're in a capital T shape off your shoulders. Just resting on the ground. Resting arms on the ground to the sides. Keeping your feet where they are, swivel your knees like windshield wipers to the right and then to the left. Let your hips follow those knees. So see if you can let your pelvis swivel as your knees windshield wiper left and right. Keeping your feet relatively wide. See how far you can go to the sides. When you go left, your left knee may get close to the ground. The outer leg may come to the ground. May not, that's fine. When you go right, your right knee, outer leg may come to the ground or not. That's fine. Just explore how far you can swivel your knees left to right with your pelvis doing the twisting, shoulders staying largely on the ground. When you twist left next time, just pause in that twist, letting your knees fall left. Your left knee is falling quite left. Your right knee may fall to the midline, really. Another opportunity for a thigh stretch here, if you like. Your right knee reaching away from your right hip in that midline. You may rise your right hip even more so off the ground to squeeze your low right back and take a morning stretch kind of hug of your muscles on your body here in this twist. Swivel your knees the other way and pause in that twist going the other way. Your right knee falling to the right, your left knee falling to the midline. Let your pelvis follow again. Maybe you let your left hip lift more or encourage your left hip to lift more. And add more twist and stretch in that left side and arms reaching and morning stretch type of feel here. Hugging your muscles onto your bones. Go ahead and swivel it back to center. Step your feet back to center. Let your knees fall wide. So you're in a diamond shape with your legs. Take one hand to your belly, one to your heart, and breathe. Just take 2 more breaths here. This is called supine bound angle pose. Allowing your inner groins to relax. Letting your hips get a final passive stretch. From here, just step your left leg long on the ground and then your right leg long on the ground and rest on your back. Maybe you place your arms about a foot off of either hip to the sides. Try and let your arms rest with the backs of the hands on the ground and palms facing up. Letting your fingers curl or do whatever they do. Relaxing your jaw, letting your brain relax in your skull. Letting your scalp relax. Letting your brow relax. Your eyeballs relax. Your sinuses relax. Your throat relax. Your tongue relax. Let your ear canals relax. Back of the neck relax. Collarbones and shoulders relax. Upper arms and elbows and forearms and fingers relax. Wrists relax. Let your chest relax and your heart nestle into the back of the rib cage. Your belly relax completely. Your pelvic floor relax completely. Let your hip sockets relax. Heavy thigh bones. Hamstrings relax. Thigh muscles relax. Kneecaps relax. The backs of your knees and calves relax. Let your shins relax. The tops of your ankles relax. The tops of your toes and your knuckles relax in your feet. Let each toe pad relax and each toe mound relax. And the arches of your feet relax and the Achilles tendons relax. Let your whole body relax into the ground, into the foundation of the building you're in, into the earth. Melt and allow yourself to surrender to gravity for a few more moments. Just keep resting until you hear the bell. Deepen your breath and move gently. You might stretch your arms and legs. You might roll your wrists and ankles, engage your fingers and toes. Or any other movements that feel good before you make your way up to a seat. If you like, you don't have to sit up. You can stay lying down. To finish class here, we'll just close our eyes when you get to a comfortable position. And set hands together at your heart. Acknowledging the work you've done. Acknowledging that every drop of energy you put in will result in some shift in your system. And appreciating what you dedicated your practice to, finding gratitude for those things that bring meaning into our lives, and gratitude for the communities we form around those things. And this community here, gratitude for all of us supporting each other. We'll chant a final Om in honor of all that. Inhale. And I bow to the light in your heart. It is the same light in my heart. Namaste. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for joining the class. Feel free to let me know any feedback or commentary you have. I'm always looking to make sure it's as smooth of a process as possible for you to come, and that you feel you can do as much as is available to you. So if there's anything that you want to ask me about, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see you again soon.